Hello and welcome to the Journal. I'm Steve Kendall. We're just a few days away from Veterans Day 2020, where we recognize those who have served our country in the various branches of the military. Joining us today are representatives of the Marine Corps League. And in this first segment, we are joined by a couple of gentlemen who represent one of the local detachments here in Ohio, Jim Hitchcock and Ken Steffel. Jim and Ken, I want to recognize you and say thank you for your service, and of course, welcome to the Journal as well. So thank you for being here today. And I guess let's start out with a little bit background for people. So Jim, tell us a little bit about the Marine Corps League, what its mission is, what its purpose is, and some of the things that you do as part of that Marine Corps League.
I'd like to say that of the modern veterans organizations, the oldest is the VFW, which started in 1899, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Then there were three veterans organizations started in the early 1920s, the American Legion, the Disabled American Veterans, and the original name was the Association of Marine Veterans. And they used that name for about 14 years when they changed to the Marine Corps League, and the official charter of the Marine Corps League dates from 1937. The Marine Corps League has a number of detachments scattered around the country. In Northwest Ohio, there are detachments in Toledo, Fremont, Lima, Findlay, Sandusky, Norwalk, and Defiance. The Defiance chapter is called the Hermann Hessler chapter, and that's because Hermann was a Defiance man who joined the Marine Corps and was killed in action in Vietnam in 1968, April 1968. Most Marine detachments are named either for Marines who've fallen in battle or served the Marine Corps with distinction, or they can also be named for important Marine Corps battles or engagements in various parts of the world. One of the main purposes of the Marine Corps League is to preserve the kind of custom and tradition of the Marine Corps, the history and knowledge of the Marine Corps. We also do a number of charitable things around the country, participate in other veterans organizations, and provide education to the public about things that have happened in American military history.
So now obviously there are more than one detachment here in Ohio then, correct?
Yes. I just wrote off the ones in Northwest Ohio.
Sure.
If you're from some other part of the country and you want to find a detachment, the Marine Corps League has a website, and there's a detachment finder on that website. So if you go to that website, you can find a detachment in Montana or wherever you happen to be looking for one.
Now, Ken, talk a little bit about some of the activities that the Marine Corps League, your local detachment, is involved in. So kind of run us through some of the things that people might be familiar with here in Northwest Ohio.
Okay, the activities. Well, they of course hold patriotic observances, Veterans Day, Memorial Day. They of course bury veterans and attend their funerals. They do, it's like most fraternal social organizations, they try to help the communities in which they live in.
Now, how many members are in the detachment here in Northwest Ohio, or the Defiance Detachment?
In the Defiance Detachment,
Yeah.
right now only about 60. We've been higher, considerably higher, and like most other fraternal social organizations these days, it's really difficult for participation and to retain membership.
Sure. Now, I noticed some of the other events because you were nice enough to send me a list of some of the things. Talk a little about, I believe is it the Steve, is it Soleil or Sally
Steve
Mess
Soleil,
Night?
he was a Defiance native, he was
Okay.
Defiance County, he was from Sherwood. He was in the Marine Corps, he was captured just a day after Pearl Harbor in China, was a prisoner of war for the duration of the war, and was liberated, repatriated, came home, lived his life. He suffered, of course. He had a family. I would say they prospered, but he certainly suffered all of his life.
Yeah, so he was among a number of Marine Corps members, and of course other military people who spent the entire length of World War II then in captivity with the Japanese.
He did. He was interred. He told us in the old days, he told us they used to perform acts of sabotage when they could. They would. He was in a machine shop. He would send the truck out without enough oil that the motor would run for a long time. They would put sand in the axles. So do it. You know, they did what they could do.
Yeah. So even after being captured and being as a prisoner, still was able to do his duty as a Marine and still try to affect the enemy in a negative way. So yeah. Now, I noticed too that some of the other events you have, and I know there are things like there's a golf scramble, things like that, which are those fundraisers, or are those the intent?
They are.
Okay.
It's grown. There's prize money to be won and proximity prizes for different holes for the golfers. But people are generous. On occasion, people have donated their winnings back. The 50-50 winner has donated his money back. It's had a catered dinner. Of course, there's an entry fee, and you've got to pay for the dinner. But they are successful. They raise good amounts of money, define good amounts of money, but people are generous.
Yeah. And in terms of funding the organization, is it fundraising? That's how you fund your detachment? Is that basically the main
You mentioned the Steve Slay mess night. We used to have a sit-down catered dinner, a guest speaker. We've had some luminaries. We've had the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. We've had obviously veterans, but pilots. 2 years ago, we had the executive officer of Marine Barracks Washington with us. And he, as it turns out, he was a Defiance native, a Defiance son.
That was good. Now, Jim, let's talk a little about the fact, and Ken, mentioned it in a way that you have a fairly large membership, 60 members at the moment. If someone wants to attend one of the meetings, maybe get more involved, you meet basically every month. Is that correct?
Who are you asking?
Oh,
me?
Jim?
Yes, the meetings are on the fourth Thursday at 7:30 at the Defiance VFW.
Okay, all right. And basically, in terms of membership, is it Marines themselves, or is it Marines and their families? So kind of fill me in a little bit on that. I'm not as up to speed on that as I should be. So is it strictly former Marine Corps members, or are their families welcome as well to be members of this group, or what's the package on that?
The membership in the Marine Corps League is open to people who've served in the Marine Corps, and also to naval personnel serving with the Marine Corps. That's mostly Navy corpsmen and chaplains. However, various other naval personnel who served with the Marine Corps over 90 days could be eligible.
Okay, all right. And again, and as you mentioned, I think earlier too, Jim, that you can go online, you can find the Marine Corps League website, and basically wherever you are in the country and probably around the world, you can probably connect yourself to one of the detachments, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with another representative of the Marine Corps League as we salute the Marine Corps and all of our veterans as we approach Veterans Day 2020. We'll be back in just a moment here on The Journal. Thank you for staying with us here on The Journal. We're talking with representatives from the Marine Corps League, a national organization, but also with detachments here in Northwest Ohio and across the state of Ohio as well. In this segment, we're joined by John Dager. And John, I want to welcome you to The Journal, so thank you for being here today. And let's talk a little about, I know that one of the things we touched on a little bit, the activities the Marine Corps League does in the community and of course in the region at large. So talk a little about some of the events and some of the other activities that the Marine Corps League is involved in locally.
Thank you. One of the items that we really pursue each year is the Christmas for Kids program within Defiance. It started in 1995. Currently, this will be our 26th year. And its service as we focus on 6 counties in Northwest Ohio: Defiance, Fulton, Henry, Paulding, Putnam, and Williams County. And we go out to different businesses, locations, schools, etc., and perform what we call a live drive. And that runs from 1 to 3 hours, and focus there is to solicit monies. Between this period in 1995 up through last year, we had gathered over $3.7 million in cash contributions. And 100% of that monies go back into that 6-county area. The Marine Corps League takes nothing for their services. The radio station, Mix 98.1, who we're partnered with, they work with the specific facility that's doing a live drive for remuneration of their expenses. Also, we collect toys during that same period, and it's hard to put a dollar value on the toys, and typically we say for every dollar we collect, we get a $1 with the toy. So, we hold that the same manner. It's $3.7 million with toys during that same 25-year period. We give that money and gifts to over 30 charitable organizations within that 6-county area. And we have a sign-up period in which the needy people within the county go in, sign up for their families or children for benefits. And in a given period, those monies go between 6,000 and 8,000 children within that 6-county area. And it's just, you look at how can you have 6,000 people, it's just every year that boggles our mind.
Now, if
yes, sir.
someone, sorry to interrupt you, if someone wants to become involved in either donating money, donating toys, or participating in terms of receiving toys during this, what's the easiest way for them to kind of get into the loop on this or get in contact with the Marine Corps League to participate?
Okay, Mix 98.1 on their Facebook will have schedules for the live drive locations for a given period, usually a week in advance. Also, Mix 98.9 on their website will have that information. So if you see us out, when we're on a live drive, we'll be wearing the same uniform. If you want to participate, contact any of the Marines you see or 98.1 personnel. They'll be able to line you up for that.
All right. Yeah, and was there anything else you wanted to add? I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but was there any more you wanted to add for Christmas for kids? Okay.
Well, this year we're having 26 locations, and that's down from 94 at a high. So the pandemic took quite a bit of toll on our ability to go out and interface with the community.
Sure.
And that's
And as it affected everything, but you found a way to adjust and make sure you can still accomplish that particular mission as well, given what the circumstances that we're all working with.
that is correct.
Yeah. Now I also know too that one of the things I see on the list of activities is the handing out of flags. So tell us a little bit about that particular initiative as well.
Yes, typically during Memorial Day period, the Marines within the chapter will go out to various businesses throughout this 6-county area and hand out small American flags. And we ask for donations. Those donations come back into the Marine Corps League's general fund, and throughout the year we'll make disbursements for needy veterans or scholarships, and I'll touch on that later.
Okay, yeah. Now, I also noticed too, and again, the number of things that the Marine Corps League does is just astounding when you look at the website and you look at some of the activities and the things that you gentlemen have listed today. And I noticed too that you're involved in concerts and other things. So talk a little bit about the Veterans Concert Series.
Okay, Veterans Concert, we work in conjunction with Defiance College. It's called the Defiance Community Band. And they perform typically around Veterans Day, a live concert at the Defiance High School. And we'll go ahead and the concert focuses on highlights and honors the veterans of the area with a variety of patriotic tunes. And that's our function there is to serve as ushers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And now this year, of course, again, is that going to be able to take place the way you normally would like to have it done, or has it been adjusted?
Yet.
We don't know yet, right?
Yeah. I know it's getting close.
Yeah. Okay. And then you mentioned it earlier, but touch on the college scholarship bar, because that's obviously another important item that you folks do as well.
Yes, in 1990, at the start of our Marine Corps chapter, we put together a scholarship fund, the Darwin Hemingway Scholarship Fund. Darwin was a Marine who was lost in action during the invasion of the Marshall Islands in World War II. And the scholarship is open to high school seniors.
Okay.
There's an application process they'll go through, and the award is for $500 scholarship, which comes out of our general fund. The maximum number of scholarships we issued one year was 9, and in 2019 we issued 1. So it varies per year.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the criteria for the application? Is it just a general application, or are there specific things you'd like to see listed or categories?
It's a formalized application process that we go through. We'll go through the area and give the application forms to the different high school guidance counselors. We want to have with the application acceptance from the college that the students is applying for. a letter of recommendation from 3 personnel, transcripts from the high school, and then all that information that we get comes in front of the officers of our chapter, and they make the disposition of who gets the scholarship.
And again, open to the geographic area you talked about before, those counties, or is it, what's the area that you focus on for that?
We say it's regional. We've had some, and Kenny mentioned in our preparation meeting, an international application that we've given out. There was some from Indiana that we had honored. So if you have an application and submit it, we're going to give it just as much due consideration as we would a local residence. Okay. It comes down to the student, what they contributed to high school and to the community during their high school years.
Okay, all right. Anything else you want to add? We've got just a moment here in this segment, but if not, then we're, anything else that people should know about these activities, or again, easiest way to get in touch with anybody to be involved in them?
It just as Jim mentioned, the website, we have the website, get in contact there, or come to the meeting, again, the Thursday, I think it's the last Thursday of the month, or contact any of the members.
Okay,
we'll be able to give
well,
that information.
Okay, good. Well, John Dager, thank you so much for being on. We'll be back in just a moment with another representative from the Marine Corps League here in Defiance, basically Northwest Ohio. Back in just a moment here on The Journal. Thanks for staying with us here on The Journal. We're talking with representatives of the Marine Corps League, and specifically the folks from Defiance. That's the most local detachment that we have here in Northwest Ohio. And we want to remind people, too, that coming up on November 10th, it is the 245th birthday of the Marine Corps. So keep that in mind as we look at Veterans Day, that's another event closely related to that as well. So we want to, again, salute not only our Marine Corps veterans, but of course, all of those in the armed services, the various branches that have served the country and continue to do so as we approach this Veterans Day. We're joined in this segment by Butch Cooper, another representative from the Marine Corps League here. And Butch, you're going to talk to us, I think it looks like, about a lot of things that trips that the Marine Corps League does, and some of those specific things that are involved in some of the other activities like that. So talk a little about this, and I know that one of the main things that you guys have been participating in was a trip to Washington, D.C. So tell us a little bit about that and the participation of the Marine Corps League.
Yes, excuse me. Trip to Washington, D.C. was in August of 2018, and a lot of veterans try to get on the honor flight out of Findlay, and it's pretty well booked up. So I was asked to put a 3-day trip together to Washington, D.C., and all the veterans and their families, spouses were invited. And that was for 3 days. And on the way to Washington, we stopped at the 9/11 Flight 93 Memorial in Stroudstown, Pennsylvania. It was very interesting. And then in Washington, D.C., we visited Arlington Cemetery, changing of the guard, Iwo Jima Memorial, World War II Memorial, Vietnam Wall, which a lot of our veterans are Vietnam veterans.
Right.
And a lot of them had never been to the wall, and that was a pretty emotional experience.
Yeah, and I think, and you mentioned some of the other locations, the Marine Corps Monument, Arlington Cemetery, all of those locations, and you're right, it speaks to the fact that obviously the Marine Corps has been involved in participating in all of those initiatives that the United States, all the different wars, all the other activities, that sort of thing. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. You probably really haven't seen Washington, D.C. until you see the Vietnam Memorial. There's no doubt about that. So that had to be a pretty amazing and, as you said, emotional visit for people as well. And the World War II Memorial, which took forever to really get built again, and another very important touch point for a lot of people of several generations as well. So yeah, and nice of you guys to put that together, because again, yeah, not everybody can do the honor flight. So that was a nice thing to do for people too that weren't able to participate in that as well. Talk about some of the other things that you've done as well, because I know there's another trip you specifically wanted to talk about too, which was right here in Ohio.
Yes, in 2019, again, this is a 1-day trip most of the veterans requested, and we went to Clinton, Ohio. In Clinton is Ohio Veterans Memorial Park. It's located between Akron and Canton. And on both these trips, all the veterans groups in Defiance in the area, I invited them to participate in it, and they did. And also I said your spouses are welcome, and they made a nice, both trips made a nice family trip. And there at Clinton, at Ohio Veteran Memorial Park, they have a Cobra helicopter, M60 Patton tank. They have a Family of Heroes Hall of Fame. They have a Vietnam Veteran Memorial Wall, POW MIA reflecting pawn and external flame. Anybody, it's just a great one-day trip. I recommend it to anybody. That park is kept up only by donations from veterans groups. And it's well worth the trip.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. And again, something not that far away, easy to get to, and yeah, and again, very reminder of the significance of those activities as well. So now I know that, you know, and we touched on this I think earlier on too, but one of the things that your group also does, unfortunately we lose Marine Corps veterans, military veterans every day, every hour. Talk a little about the fact that you folks too get involved in when unfortunately we're laying to rest a Marine Corps veteran.
Yes, that is a sad thing. And we assist the families in the preparation if they ask. We provide color guard, pallbearers, and we also have a church ceremony at the church, also at the funeral home and at the grave site. And families can just contact us, and we'll join you in setting up the services.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, and I know that in general too, you touched a little about this too as we were talking to everybody today. Some of the things in terms of helping veterans, some of the things that the Marine Corps League does as well, besides these specific events, but just the day-to-day kind of things that you make available to the kind of services.
Yes, one of the big projects we had was in 2018. Our chaplain, Nick Hill, was contacted by a veteran in Bryan, Ohio, requesting that he needed help to redo his house, was getting in bad shape, the exterior. So Nick Hill contacted Home Depot Foundation and got a large grant which covered all new windows, 2 new external doors, a garage door, and the siding.
Wow.
Chaplain Hill was able to get contractors in the Bryan-Williams County area to contribute the time and labor to install the windows and doors. In the Marine Corps League, we worked 3 weekends, install all the siding on the house, and the veteran really appreciated it.
Yeah. So, yeah, which is good for people to know, because that way, whether it's donating materials or labor, things like that, when you have a situation where you're trying to assist a Marine Corps veteran, that there are ways for other people in the community, businesses to get involved as well. You mentioned too briefly on the trips that you work with the other veterans groups in the Defiance area. So is there more of a story to tell about that as well? Some of the other things you've done with the other veterans groups?
Yes, many of us Marine Corps League members also belong to Vietnam vets, VFW, AMVETS, DAV, disabled vets, and also Order of the Purple Hearts. And we try to work the other veterans groups. We help them, they help us. And it's really a good bunch of people. Okay. And in 2018 in July, all the veterans groups in Defiance got together with the Defiance County Veterans Board, and we sponsored to have the Ohio Flags of Honor come down to Defiance, Ohio, and set up their display. And we honored the killed in action veterans from Ohio. Okay. And that was a very nice day. We had a large community group there supporting us, and it was a great day.
And we've got just a couple of minutes here. And we've covered a lot of it already, I think, but just one more time to remind people too, the benefits of becoming involved in the Marine Corps League. So speak to that just a little about the benefits. Obviously, we've heard a lot of them already, but just reinforce that a little bit for folks as well.
Okay. I consider the Marine Corps, and all Marines do, it's a brotherhood. And League members from the membership is it's a way to extend that brotherhood. I know from the first day of boot camp, your life was changed forever. You have become a member of the Marine Brotherhood. Wherever you go, you will meet fellow Marines and enjoy that brotherhood. If you are not a Marine Corps League member, contact your local league and join. There's 39 leagues here in Ohio, and they'll surely welcome you.
Okay, great. Well, Butch Cooper, thank you so much for that, and also thank you to John Dager, Jim Hitchcock, and Ken Steffel, representatives of the Marine Corps League from the Defiance Detachment. Gentlemen, thank you for your service and your continued service, obviously, as participants in this organization, the Marine Corps League. So again, thank you so much, and thank you to all our veterans who have participated and done service for this country for years and years and years, and will continue to do so. You can check us out at WBGU.org, and you can watch us every Thursday night on WBGU PBS. We'll see you again next time on The Journal.